Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
Fridays at 1 p.m. PST.
Woo!
I'm going to check the audio.
I was like, why does everything look different? And I realized it's because the last time we did the Couples Table, we had the prompter.
Oh, I didn't notice anything looked different, but everything is slightly other size. Let me check the audio here.
How's the audio? We're testing out the audio. Hello, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Did you eat a lot? Because we did.
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
Why was Freddie late for work? Because traffic is a nightmare on Elm Street. Oh my gosh, I just asked Tom this yesterday. Because the Christmas movie with the past, present, future is a Christmas Carol.
Yes.
But the Thanksgiving parade is on 34th Street. And I was like, is that movie called The Miracle on 34th Street? That is a completely different movie. And this whole time I thought that's what that movie was.
Yeah, you were getting that and It's a Wonderful Life and all those three.
Because It's a Wonderful Life is
a totally different movie from those other two.
What movie is that?
That's the one with Jimmy Stewart where it's like he's gonna kill himself and the angel shows up and is like, oh, here's what it'd be like if you were never born, and they go through.
So it has nothing to do with Christmas?
No, it is, because it's Christmas, but then he goes to it's a Christmas movie, but it's not like a Santa Christmas movie.
Oh, it's not a Santa Christmas movie. Got it. Okay. Hello, everybody. Bailey's here. Spiral Lab is here. What's everyone up to today? Hi, Gil. Hello, hello. Call Me Cubby's in the house. Jared is also here. Hello. Greetings. Happy Friday. Happy Thanksgiving from top of the morning. Hot Tub Lady. Hello. We broke in our hot tub for the season. It was so hot this summer. We couldn't get in it, but it felt real nice yesterday. Tom and I are very sore.
Oh, my God.
From the turkey trot that we ran yesterday. Which I haven't ran since the last turkey trot. So my calves are real mad at me today. Let's see. Neil's here. Happy Thanksgiving. Homesick Mac. Hi, everyone. Mac on the deadline. Editing. Lazy cutting the clips in Final Cut. We'll try to be active. Hi, Kat. Listening while cleaning my studio. I love
everyone
that.
Just getting work done.
I know. It's a Wonderful Life is an amazing story.
It's a great movie. It's a black and white movie. It's like, it's an old school Christmas movie.
This.
Yeah.
But it's not the past, present, future.
That's Christmas Carol. But there's similarities because you in Christmas Carol you have Scrooge being shown, different realities, and in It's a Wonderful Life you also have him being shown different realities, but it's not past, present, future.
Is that the rat poison one?
Wait, what? Rat poison.
poison. Something about poison. Oh, there's poison.
No, I don't think so. It's been a while since I saw it.
Oh my god, my stomach is so sore. I swear there's a black and white movie. There's a guy wearing like a fedora, and he's like, I saw it in a vision, like in a dream. The nephew's gonna accidentally eat the rat poison or something.
I don't know what this movie is. Maybe it's the same one, but I feel like it's not.
Okay, someone needs to come save me.
Okay, Neil's here, and Neil says, I've been rearranging the studio and adding a second camera on a slider this evening. That sounds really fun. I've been actually thinking of busting out my slider for like a B camera shot. Because, yeah. Didn't the last turkey trot give you COVID? It sure did. And
1000%.
we wore masks this time. Because when you're running, I don't think, knock on wood, that there's too much of a problem. But in the half hour, 45 minutes leading up to it, when everyone's gathering at the starting line,
everyone's like, we're like shoulder to shoulder waiting for the, for the start to go, like the start kickoff to cross the starting line. And everyone's just literally shoulder to shoulder in that crowd. And oh my gosh, you just hear all the coughing and the sneezing.
And it's all people who've traveled, to be, so it's not even like it's just your local people, but it's people from all over. So yeah, definitely.
I just don't want to get sick.
We showed up a little later this time and masked in that part just to be extra safe.
Neil says that famous rat poison. I don't know what I'm thinking now.
I have absolutely no idea.
Maybe it's the nephew. Who's the nephew?
In what?
In the Christmas movie. Like one of them has a nephew who's like Pete. Little
Tiny Tim?
Him.
From Christmas Carol.
Sure. Does he rat poison by
no, he's
accident?
Just like disabled.
Okay, now I have to look this up.
Anyway, Bailey asks, is that the RE20 Black? It is. I had a dream that I was using this microphone last night, so I decided to use this microphone today. That's the kind of dreams that I have, is about microphones.
Oh my god, I just made this up. There's a movie called Rat Poison.
There's a movie called Killer Rats in New York. Freddie said It's a Wonderful Life for the first time in movie theaters for the 75th anniversary showing, and it was extremely longer than it needed to be. Older movies sometimes they either like have that or the opposite problem. Like they're short because technology was limited, and it's like, God, how are we going to make a 60-minute movie or more? Or it's like, way too long because they show everything, and it's interesting. Anyway,
eating pumpkin pie while I watch. That sounds wonderful.
You win.
We had Levain's cookies for dessert from the bakery,
and they were delicious.
Yeah, so good. Oh my gosh. Why?
I don't know.
It sounded like you were going to say something.
I know, and I tried to stop myself so I wouldn't interrupt you saying something.
Well, what were you going to say?
I'll say, how's it going? What are you up to?
I don't know. Why don't you tell us about your microphone? You always have stuff to say there.
Well, this isn't a new one. This is actually quite an old microphone. Not this specific one. This one is, relatively new, but the RE20 has been around since 1969, I think. So that's what this is, and it works great. And then, Art was asking about the arm. This is the Rode DS2. Rode came out with their boom arms. I haven't done a review on it. I probably won't do a dedicated review on it. But if you watch my video on the Lewitt LCT 240 versus 440, I talk about it a little bit in there. It's a really nice desktop arm that has a little more functionality than most typical desktop stands. Sorry if there's mic noise, but, it's very easy to, adjust, and it's very strong.
Looks pretty.
And it looks cool too. It's a very futuristic look. It's also, they said, designed, to be strong enough to hold small lights and small cameras and stuff too. So that's kind of cool. The downside to it that I'm finding is that the little regular tabletop mic stands I use they're just mic stands. So you don't really expect a lot of, it's just to hold up whatever you put a mic on. This ventures into the territory of boom arm, and so I feel like I'm expecting a little more versatility and able to position, especially it's always the connector end, being able to position and angle things. Not that you can't. Obviously, I have this microphone positioned the way I want it, but it's a little finickier than you would want it to be. And the price, it's like $90, I think. whereas the normal tabletop stands I use are $20. So it's great. It's super heavy duty. I really like it. I just bought this one at B&H. It's not like a, not like a sponsored thing or anything. And it's super nice, and it is incredibly well built to totally be a weapon. It's very heavy duty. Because you can see even my microphone is like way off center and it's not tipping because the bottom is so heavy. So it's cool. And I like it. It's a little bit expensive and I wish it had a little more adjustability.
That's the mic review from Tom.
The Couples Table mic review corner.
I like it.
Dun, dun.
We should have that segment every time.
We kind of do.
We should do a little video intro for it.
Oh,
that'd be cute. Fun. Oh, shoot.
We could push a button on your Stream Deck and then it just...
Do you have any Black Friday deals for your courses?
I do.
Why don't you talk about that?
Funny that you asked. So you can use promo code BFF, which stands for Black Friday Fun, at HiMyNameIsTom.com/courses to get... I actually don't remember the discount. It's either 10 or 15% off all of the courses anytime between now and the 28th. So
good.
Yeah, so Tuesday there. So BFF, Black Friday Fun. If you're on the mailing list, I sent out that email a while ago. And if you're somebody who, this was actually a suggestion, this wasn't my marketing genius. If you're somebody who had already bought 2 of my courses, I sent out an email with a 50% off promo code for the 3rd one.
Oh, that's nice.
Because a lot of people bought the 2 podcasting courses, and then there's the video editing one, and they're not totally the same, but there's a little bit of overlap between people. So it was more like, you've already gone this far. If you want to go this, here you go. Because I appreciate the support, but it's also hard because putting courses on sale is like, I put so much work and effort into them that I don't like putting them on sale, but I also I figure if someone's going to buy one on Black Friday and they wouldn't have bought it otherwise, then that's a win-win.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can go to HiMyNameIsTom.com/courses, use promo code BFF for 10 or maybe 15% off. And there's Podcaster Playbook.
Thanks, Bailey.
Podcaster Idea Book.
Hey,
thanks, Bailey. It's 15%. And Rough Cut to Final Cut.
So I have an announcement. Next week, we're going to celebrate Tom's birthday.
Oh.
He didn't know this.
I didn't know this.
But it's like 2-3 days before Tom's actual birthday.
Oh, next Friday, you mean? Let me look at my calendar over here.
Yes.
It's the 1st.
Check your appointments, Tom.
Yeah, I'm busy that day. I got to record a couple podcasts that day, but I'm good.
Yeah, we should do like a fun...
Sure.
It's just the birthday episode. I don't know.
Yeah. Turning 21. Finally.
Turning... Oh, yeah. That's what they flip it. But that doesn't work for us yet.
What do you mean flip
40,
it?
47, 74.
Oh, it'd be 73.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're not there yet.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. But today, we're just hanging out.
We didn't know. I mean, we know that a lot of people who tune in for the live stream, listen to the podcast, are international. So therefore, yesterday being Thanksgiving in the U.S. means nothing.
Probably means
But in the U.S., yesterday was Thanksgiving. So a lot of people are off work, taking breaks, visiting family. Today's
shopping.
Black Friday, so shopping. I think Black Friday deals permeate globally more than Thanksgiving does. And yeah, so we're just sort of vibing.
We're just hanging out today. So if you have questions, topics, conversation starters.
I got something that we can dive into that I've been experimenting with this past week that's sort of interesting. Probably do a
I think I
podcast
know what
episode
it
about
is.
it. Yeah, it's ingesting podcasts into YouTube.
Yes,
Because it's something that potentially you could do with this show on your channel. Last year, YouTube announced that they were supporting podcasts, and it was very confusing because like a lot of people were just, you just have a video podcast, you upload it as videos to a channel, and that's your podcast. So what does it mean that YouTube is now supporting podcasts? What it meant was you could put together a playlist of videos, mark it as a podcast, and it would show up in YouTube Music, and that's sort of it, I guess, really. And the thing I was waiting for was, that's awesome if if your podcast is a video podcast that lives on YouTube. It's a little clunkier if you're somebody who already has a podcast, which a lot of people do.
An audio podcast.
Yeah, an audio podcast that's already been, you upload it to a host. There's an RSS feed that sends it out somewhere. Now you're like, there's always that struggle of creating a YouTube channel and the podcast thing. And they, a lot of people do it just fine, but I've never wanted to get into that workflow. And so I thought, hey, YouTube supporting podcasts, this would be great if YouTube will allow you to import an RSS feed, and then YouTube essentially becomes another podcast directory, which they said they were going to do like a year ago. And they finally did. Like they recently just did, which is crazy because when you go into YouTube Studio, you can click on create a new podcast, and then an option pops up, RSS feed, and you can paste your feed right there.
It seems like there's some kinks to work out though, because you've been
yes. It's been an interesting thing. It's something you were kind of surprised. You're like, I can't believe you dove into this without like thinking about it more or whatever, because I'm so careful with everything to do with my channel.
Especially with your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is something I've been waiting for, and it's something that I figured people would have a lot of questions about. So I felt like I really needed to dive in and experiment with it and have the pain points and stuff. So it's very cool. It just needs to be polished up a bit. YouTube will import your episodes. It imported all 170 episodes of my personal podcast to my channel.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. It does a weird thing though, where it basically re-uploads them as videos. And the video, if it's just an audio podcast, it just uses your podcast artwork as the image, and then it just plays the audio, which is fine. That's what I said they should do. That's what I want them to do. But it makes each one each one is a YouTube video. So which is kind of cool because you could go in and make individual thumbnails, change descriptions, like you have all that stuff. You can turn on monetization, which I was like, hey, I don't mind suddenly having 170 more videos like in my channel's library and everything. The downside is that because it turns them into videos, if you make them public, they just show up in your channel's video page. So suddenly my channel's video page, which is very specific and on topic, and the thumbnails, have a consistency to them, just had weird podcast episodes everywhere. And I even had people messaging me going like, did you mean to upload like 100 episodes of this thing? Or like what happened? Luckily, it didn't publish to subscription feeds and mess with everybody. But even when you make a podcast video public, it goes in your YouTube Studio as like, now it's your most recent video, even if it's not published to subscribers. So then that's where like the analytics are going, which makes me worry that that's also then how your channel is being viewed. And like, oh, your channel is performing really bad now because you're uploading a bunch of old podcast episodes that aren't being published to it's that part's a little clunky. So what I've had to do is you have the podcast, which is still a playlist. It does that automatically. That playlist is public. All of the videos within it are unlisted. So you just went to my channel and saw the episodes. You can play them. They all show up. And that's great. And they're not taking up space anywhere else on the channel. The downside is now those episodes aren't searchable or aren't recommendable. So it's like you can only find them through either direct links to the episode or a direct link to the podcast playlist.
I'm sure they'll work that out.
Yeah.
Though.
All that needs to be done, honestly, is the ability to make a video public without it being on your channel's videos page. Like just a little checkbox is like exclude from videos page. And then that would solve the problem. But yeah, obviously, like, they're rolling it out and fixing kinks and stuff. So that's kind of where it is now. And then I've been tinkering with the idea of like, should I just put all these on another channel or not? And Doc Rock showed up this morning in my text messages and told me definitely not to do that. So anyway, yeah.
Reagan says, I just subscribed to your podcast on Spotify yesterday, and now I see it in your YouTube podcast. Yes, what a mess.
Yeah, and I'm... The thing that'll be interesting is, I believe, as new episodes. I haven't recorded an episode since I did that, so today. So on Monday I'll publish a new episode
from now on.
And now I want to see it should automatically show up in YouTube, and it should be fine. Although the order they show up in also seems to be sort of random, not just like newest to oldest. So I'll have to see that, and then the other thing will be, in the future, if I did want to add a video component, the best way to do that. Because obviously Yeah, because I wouldn't want double. I wouldn't want, here's a video that I uploaded to YouTube, and then also here's like the audio version. So it's almost like I would have to stop the RSS import. Yeah, these are all things to figure out.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to dive in and play with it while it's early
Sure.
to figure these things out.
Yeah.
And so I can answer questions when people have questions about it too.
Yeah.
But I'm overall super glad that feature's there.
Do you have any like data on whether your YouTube audience is watching / listening?
Yeah, so
YouTube?
as it was accidentally putting stuff in the video feed and things, people were watching them and leaving comments on them, which was really nice because
also, you can leave comments on them now.
That is a benefit. Can't do that for the most part on podcasts. You can't leave comments, but now just like YouTube videos, you can leave comments on them. And there are a lot of people I found who didn't know about the podcast or didn't want to listen to it.
Sure.
Even though I can put the link or whatever, if it's just not just on YouTube, but like on the same channel, like it's just another tab on the same channel, it seems like a lot more people are willing to check it out because it's like very clearly another thing from this person. They're not going to another channel. They're not going to another platform.
It's all just there.
Yeah, so it seemed like a lot of people gave it a chance. And people were saying like really nice things, and they liked the personal... It's way more, personal than a regular video would be. And a lot of people seem to like that. So I was like, this is kind of a cool way to fold in a different part of me into the channel. So I'd love to find a way to make it a little more practical.
Yeah. Could you make a members only podcast, this cat?
Right now, I don't know. I don't think there's a way. It's just public, unlisted, or private are the options.
Yeah.
But that would be...
I feel like that would be an easy thing to add in, though.
Yeah, and that would make sense as a thing to add as like a benefit for members is,
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Then you can just... You could just do without Patreon, basically.
If you wanted to go all in on... I mean, because that's what people do on Patreon a lot is you can get individual RSS feeds and stuff through Patreon for podcasts.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very fun.
Cool.
Yeah, so anyway, that was my bit of YouTube news for the week.
That you've been working on. Cool.
How about you?
Nothing much. Yeah, we vlogged yesterday, so I have to edit that.
That'll be fun.
I've been thinking about the idea of Vlogmas. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a thing still.
You can make it a thing.
I'm debating still, but I like the idea of like doing a daily challenge that everyone is familiar with and other people are doing it too.
Is it all of December or is it just till the 25th?
25th.
Okay.
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. Toying around with it.
That sounds fun.
It's in the back of my head thinking about it. But yeah.
Well, you got time. You got time.
I have a week because it'll be December 1st. Yep. Dun, 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 dun. What?
You're funny. Let's see here. What else is happening? Well, hey, you know what? I'm gonna put out a call for help here.
Oh.
Yeah, because Amazon, of which, not to brag, but I'm an affiliate, very exclusive. I know everyone else here.
Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna do? Oh well.
You know what? Why not?
That's so funny because the one thing I was going to say was I logged onto YouTube for like 2 seconds today to check something totally random about video games, and every video in the first scroll was a live stream about Amazon Black Friday. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's a good thing we're not doing that.
Yeah. Well, this is just a on a personal level. So Amazon is doing a thing this year that I haven't seen them do before, and I think it's pretty cool. If you hit certain amounts of orders through your affiliate links, like certain revenue or whatever, they give you like a bonus, a flat rate bonus, which is very cool. And the bottom bonus, which is the closest one I could ever achieve, is $2,700. So I think whatever the number is, if it's $67,000 worth of merchandise ordered through your links, it is. Then you just, on top of whatever commission you would get, which I honestly probably wouldn't be $2,700. You get $2,700. I am $10,000 away from hitting that, and there's still 5 or 6 days left in the month. I've never come close to that before. I've never even really looked at these kinds of analytics before. But hey, if you're gonna order something on Amazon and you
buy your Christmas shopping,
use my links. Click on any of my Amazon links and go through there. If there's something in one of my videos you're interested in, I didn't want to do like a big like post or whatever, but I figured everybody here, getting an extra $2,700 at the end of the year would be massively helpful. So, yeah.
There you go.
So there you go. But yeah, I didn't want to do but if you've noticed a lot of people doing the Black Friday live streams or posting affiliate links and things around, they're also probably trying to hit that goal. So if there's also somebody else that you want to really help out, use their links too, because that's probably why they're doing it. And obviously it would be a big help. And then it's like whatever their high level stuff is, if you ship like $100,000 or $90,000 worth of stuff, you get like $6,000.
Wow.
It is a big.
I mean, that's the way to go for them.
Yeah, that's huge. I've never seen them. They're doing it for October, November, and December, the last quarter of the year. It's pretty neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Reagan says, I also have the same problem with Tom. YouTube still hasn't figured out how to best deal with channels that have different product content styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking earlier. I was thinking like TV networks versus TV channels, and like, a YouTube channel is a channel. So you don't want to, I wouldn't want to put a bunch of cooking videos on my channel because that's too different. The podcast is pretty different from a lot of videos, but also not, but isn't. So it's like, that's a tricky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kat says I should start reading my emails from Amazon. No, I almost missed it. Hey, you too. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Yay, you too.
I think Audio Hotline also had a mellow one like we did, which was very nice.
Yes. It was very mellow and chill, although I'm very, very sore today. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sore. I haven't been this sore in a really long time.
Yeah, it sucks.
Turns out you can't just go from couch to 3 miles. I mean, you can, but you'll definitely feel
couch
it the
to
next
5K.
Yeah, you'll definitely feel it the next day. Oof. Hurts.
It was really fun though.
Yeah, it was fun. What's a NAS?
That's our server. Gil just set one up.
Oh.
I did a tech support episode of the podcast Gil was talking about on there. Doc was helping him figure some stuff out, so he has one all set up now.
Oh, very
in
cool.
his amazing studio.
Yeah.
And the big thing that Doc mentioned and I mentioned was make sure it's hardwired with a really fast network connection, because then it becomes an extension of your computer basically, and you can edit directly from it, import footage. Ours is not connected that way, so while it backs everything up and stores it, it's slow.
Yeah, we need to figure out our internet situation. Maybe that's a goal for 2024.
That really should be.
We need to get like hardwired internet.
We have high speed internet, but we need like actual high speed internet that's hardwired.
Yeah, that.
Because even ours, when we do hardwire it, it does not come close to the speeds that like it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So such is.
What's an UPS?
Oh, UPS. That I have a video on. I just got the one from Costco.
Oh yeah.
And we have another one that I just ordered from Amazon. That's in the living room. Both of which have been great. They're different brands. I go see what brand mine is because it has been going on strong.
You want to NDI it?
No, because it's dark in here.
Oh.
In the bottom.
He's gonna figure out what brand. I was gonna have him use the NDI app, but it's really confusing when you go into Tom's studio if you don't know how to turn on the lights. Because I still don't know how to turn the lights on in there. But he did make it so like the ceiling light will at least turn on with the light switch. The rest, like, I don't know what happens. I turn them on and nothing happens.
The brand is CyberPower.
CyberPower.
And we have a different one in the living room, but it's been going strong. I have a video about it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The thumbnail says huge mistake, and it's hard to make like a power supply seem exciting, but it is a game changer though. And it has saved us a few times when like things have gone weird.
1x2, one for my modem, one for my studio.
That's what we have. Yeah. We
Yeah.
have one in like the living room where the modem is, and one. You don't have one in here. I have one in my studio.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. And there's Ben. Oh, there you go. I have a couple of CyberPower 1500 UPS. Works just fine.
And it's cool because my whole, well, not my whole studio is connected to it, but my main stuff, computers, all the audio gear, some of my main lights are running through it. And you can see the percentage like of its power capacity that you're using. I think I have the 1500 as well. And it's at like 8% or something. It's like not even close to maxing it out. So,
good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Call Me Cubby says, finally got my first camera, Sony ZV-1 II. Now I just need a laptop to attempt to edit videos on. That's awesome.
How exciting.
I know, that's really, really cool. That camera has like a really nice lens on it. The ZV-1 II.
Oh.
Sort of like.
I didn't even know there was a 2.
It's a funny name, ZV-1 II. Yeah. Laptops, I mean, any Apple M series laptop will be amazing.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be the newest, fanciest, biggest one, but any.
I feel like every time I turn on a thing that's like updated, and there's like so many. All my iOS is like new update. I need to like sit and read it. Like what
features?
Yeah.
You don't know
what are these updates you speak of?
Yeah.
But
that is super exciting. And yeah, I was trying to think of other video editing options. But yeah, a good laptop.
Yeah.
A good way to go.
So, do you have any like end of the year things that you want to do before the end of the year on your channel?
That's a good question. I kind of want to get things back in order, like back on track how they were in terms of scheduling and stuff. I'd love to do at least one more live stream before the end of the year, which shouldn't be too difficult to do. But that's really it. It's like work out getting, 3 videos scheduled in advance, and kind of like.
You want to get back to that?
I've learned for my own mental sanity, that's what works best for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? Maybe Vlogmas.
Yeah. That'll be a fun thing. I mean, like, well, okay. I'm not going to set it as a goal, but I would love to think about my tutorial channel again. It's just sitting there. Actually,
this is
Reagan
a great question.
Here,
yeah.
I'm curious about having multiple channels versus one channel and how you made that choice. So the way that I made the choice because I have many channels, the way that I would make the choice is that if the audience would not overlap. So if I was sure that there was a difference in the audience. So for example, I have a video game channel. I know that like there are some people from this channel who maybe are interested in video games, but it's a very small percentage. And probably the people who watch the video game channel will not come over this way either. So it's like, it's just a completely different audience. That is how I made that decision to do separate channels. Looking back though, what I would say for a lot of it, because I felt like I tried to make each channel like its own brand, which like my advice there to myself would be like, it's really hard to build one YouTube channel. It's really hard, it's going to be twice as hard to build 2, 3, 4. So, and I think like, especially for someone like me who's been on YouTube for several years now, and for my channel, it is so much about my life. I think there are things that could have just been on here, and like, if you're not interested in it, that's okay. So like, kind of like PewDiePie, yes, it started out as a gaming channel. Now it's just kind of like life in general. Like, okay, they moved to Japan. Now it's life in Japan. Now he's a dad. Now it's dad life. And it's just like the audience is along for wherever your life takes you. And I think I would consider that more instead of starting a whole separate channel. But when it comes to the tutorial channel, I think the way that I made that decision like on day 1 in 2016. So I think like if I were to do it again, I feel like there is a lot of overlap. So I would just keep it on one channel. But also, it's interesting because that channel, I don't know, it's going so strong, even though I have not uploaded a video in like 8 months. So like there are a lot of videos that I feel bad because people watch it, they get a lot of value out of it, but it's from 2019. It's like so outdated. It's like how to start a YouTube channel or walk you through the YouTube studio, which looks totally different. Like it's not even the same. And people are like, great video. And I'm like, how was this helpful? Because it doesn't even look the same. So yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's where my mind was when I made those decisions. But anyway, so to bring me back to like, I don't know if it's the end of the year. It's just something that's been, kind of marinating in the back of my mind. But the thing with the tutorial channel is like, I like that there is a library of stuff that if you want to know how I do what I do, the how-to of it, right? Like here you can go to this channel and see me doing it, but if you want to see me explain the behind the scenes of how I do it, there's that channel. Yes, there's probably overlap, but I'm also cool with like just having it being somewhere else. And it seems like there's a lot of people who watch videos and then don't necessarily subscribe. It's just kind of like living in search results, which is fine. That's cool. So
yeah. I've noticed, I know you struggle with this a lot, but I feel like you've done a really good job with giving both of your channels a very clear, separate identity.
Oh, really?
Maybe not in your mind. In my mind, they seem very, they do seem very clear. Even if it's you sitting at this desk explaining something, it's very different when it's a video that's, you being very personal about like, here's, this is me, what I'm doing, trying to figure out whatever, versus here's how to do this, step 1, step 2, step 3. Like it's a totally different way of explaining and approaching things. And I think that's what you said is great. If you want to see me doing something, that's this channel. If you want to see how I did it, that's that channel.
Yeah.
And I feel like the audience it probably could have gone either way, but I feel like there is enough difference and overlap or enough difference between the audiences that having the separate ones makes sense.
It's funny because for the tutorial channel, there's so many new people. Like every day there's a new person commenting. There's a new channel that I've never seen before, a new person commenting. I've never, clearly it's like the first video they've watched. And I like that. See here, it's like I've seen a lot of your content, everyone in the comment section. Like, you've been on the couples table. Like there's, I don't know, like it's not random people, which is, I like that. I like this special, corner that we have here. But it's also cool that like, I can make something that is helpful to people who are just starting their YouTube journey today, so, so like, I don't know. I think like I was thinking about this morning, but if you have like an inkling to make some kind of resource YouTube channel because you have some kind of experience or knowledge to share, like just make it and get the content out there, because you don't know, like in 2 years someone can find it helpful and then like that YouTube channel is making money in the background. I don't even touch it. I have not touched it for 8 months, so it's nice. Like, of course I can go in there and like help it grow and have it make more money, but it's also nice that, even if I'm not doing anything with it, it's still, working for me, helping people, working for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Drew.
Drew's here editing photos.
Let's see. Kat says, I'm making a separate channel for Notion and productivity content. I have some overlap, but I do think of presenting content as separate topics. Yeah. See, that's how I thought of it too. I have a jump rope channel. I was going to start a channel for our dogs. I had this whole idea about like Instagram ads. Like I wanted to do the whole like buying stuff from Instagram ads and then like reviewing them.
There was a name for that. What was it? It was a cool name.
Add scene on.
Ads seen on.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
It never came to life. I just I just made the channel. That was a fun. I like that idea though.
That's a fun one. And it's funny because those types of videos are so popular
They're
now.
so freaking popular.
But I think you had the idea before.
I don't have the like comedic angle though. Like I don't have the
right.
wittiness.
I mean, not right, but I like the.
You know what I mean? Like I couldn't make it as entertaining as I think.
Well, and also because I was actually literally just watching a video like that before we started doing this, and also the budget people need to do this because some of the stuff like the goofy things or whatever get very expensive, and they're doing 6 or 7 things a video, and
it was also like I remember I tried to like conceptualize one of them, but I don't want to make a video about something that is bad. Like I couldn't get over that
right.
because now it's just trashing a product, and I just don't want to like spend time on that or like put someone down for what they made. It just I don't know. It's just not. I don't know. Some people could just like make it really funny, but I am too overthinking for that. Let's see, APCUPS. Oh, there you go. Real Pell Room. Curious what Heather's camera settings are for her videos, ISO, etc. Also lighting, Falcon Eyes, key light, what color, temperature setting, etc. Love the look of her videos. I don't even know.
I was waiting for you to get to this one.
I was like,
your videos do look amazing.
Yeah, I don't have this. I realized I have 2 studio tour videos, but they don't go over the settings.
Oh, the screen doesn't come on, huh?
No.
Yeah.
I think it's the clean.
I might be able to see on the top here. Oh, I can.
Oh.
Oh, your ISO is 320.
ISO is 320.
Yeah.
Temperature of the light. Well, I'm looking at this light box here, this Falcon Eyes thing.
5300.
5300K, 51% like power.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But I don't think that like
you also though play around with some of the colors in Ecamm too, so that could change the white balance and the.
No.
You don't change any of your picture settings? Sorry, now I'm gonna click. Oi.
I think yeah. The only thing I do is
very slightly. So most of it's just straight out of camera actually. It's just
I just crop in a little bit. That's the one setting that
it looks like your Satch is bumped up 5 and your gamma's bumped up 4, which is virtually nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, your white balance isn't touched or anything. Interesting. And it's just been that way. It looks great. And it's a Canon 6D Mark II, so it's not like I mean, that's
there's
a 6-year-old
no
camera
or anything. It's just like the desk is here and I just don't
move
from the desk.
Yeah, because I could lean back and go out of focus. And go into focus.
Let's see. Every day I want to jump and make an anime discussion YouTube channel, and every day I hear Heather say, "Just do it, dude." Oh yeah, I had in my head actually one of the videos that I want to do during Vlogmas is like anime recommendations for people who've never watched anime.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, but like, see, that's one where it's like, no, hell to the no. Am I gonna start an anime channel? Because like. It's also like, you have to be aware of that audience and community that already exists that you're trying to jump into. It's like the anime community is already so like loud, and I don't think that I could like contribute anything there. Or it's like, but yes, I could sit here and talk about the 25 books I read in 3 months. I don't need to start a book YouTube channel though. You know what I mean?
BookTube.
Yeah.
That
sounds real fun though. BookTube got real big this year.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. People will be reading.
Yeah, I saw an article that was critical of it because it was like
really?
BookTube was like BookTube and Book Talk are turning books into like decorations, or like it's less about the reading and more about the perception of being someone who reads. And I was like, okay, I get that. I'm totally cool with that though. Like in 2023, if somebody wants to be perceived as a reader, cool. Like by all means, do what you gotta do. I feel like there's way worse crimes that could be committed out there. And it's hard to do that even if you are doing it for like the perception of it without sort of accidentally reading some books along the way and learning some stuff along the way. Like I feel like more good than bad will come out of it.
I think I'm at the point where my YouTube channel, like this one specifically, is so much more about what I get out of it than
It's for you.
and I think it always has been that. I think I've always tried to have it be that. But of course, like, there there was a point where it's like, yes, I want this to be my full-time thing. Yes, I want to be this huge YouTube creator. Yeah, it's like I had all these things, but especially now it's like I just really like doing this cool thing called YouTube and talking about what I think is fun. And I think that's like a cool, I think it's just a cool thing. And so it's more of like, it's not the advice I would give to like a client who would be hiring me as like a YouTube coach, but it's like the advice I would give to,
you.
Yeah. To myself. Like this is like so much fun. It makes me happy. It challenges me. It's a creative outlet. So like I don't even care if it's like consistent or not in terms of what I'm talking about, but because even when I do talk about something random, there are people who are like, "Oh my gosh, that's cool," or like, like even in the vlogs that we've made, it's like, I don't know, something 7 minutes in, and someone will be like, "Oh, thanks for showing that."
Yeah, or we'll like talk about something.
Yeah,
I like this. No, I like that, and then like people will weigh in with their opinions.
Yeah, I like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a thing sort of, it's funny how like speaking of different channels, how they work. Cause I have my second channel, which is just for fun and like videos get uploaded, talk about no schedule or anything. It's just, there's time to make a video. Want to make a video goes up. It could be about whatever. I hadn't checked into that channel in a while, and one of my videos blew up. Yeah, I didn't know.
Tom went viral and just didn't know. Yeah, did not know.
I went in and I was like, why did this channel suddenly get like hundreds of new subscribers? Because it's several years old and it wasn't even at 1,000 or something, and then it was like, congratulations on 500 new ones.
Like that just goes to show that like you can try to make things go viral. You could also just make content, and who knows what happens a year later.
Yeah, because that's what it was. It was a video I made a year ago about just playing around with an old TV camera I have, which looking back, like that probably could have been on my main channel, but I didn't want to put it there because it was just me sort of like playing. There was no point. Like you weren't going to really learn anything by it. It's not a tutorial. It's not a review. It's just like, this camera does this and it's neat for some reason, like it just didn't feel polished enough to me. It was something for fun. It didn't feel polished enough to me. So I put it on there. Nobody watched it. And then suddenly it was like getting like 10 to 15,000 views a day. And I didn't know. And then I checked in and there were just hundreds and hundreds of comments, many held for review because it wasn't a review or anything. People just telling me all the stuff I did wrong and what an idiot I am and all stuff. And it was like
another reason why I don't want to go viral.
Well, it's funny though. Like if I had a video perform like that on my main channel, I would be very happy and very excited. But when I see that on my second
library, there's a library that people can be,
Yeah, but when I see that on my second channel, I actually go, no. Yeah. Like, and people are subscribing. I'm like, no.
Not
because
what this channel is.
Then when I upload a video about like a hockey helmet, you're gonna be mad at me because it's not more about like this weird camera thing that you were already mad at me about because I didn't import the footage the right way, because that wasn't even the point of the video. And like of course there's a subset of people that are just like on board with it and sharing their experiences, like, oh my gosh, like I used that same camera back 20 years ago, or they'll up it and take it like 30 years ago I used this over here, which is really great. Like I actually love those stories.
Another takeaway from this, I feel like, is that so much of how YouTube recommendation works is based off the viewer's watch history and search history versus like how you optimize the video or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't know why this suddenly took off, and clearly as it grew, it was being pushed out to people who have an interest or knowledge in cameras and camera equipment, but like that wasn't the video for them because it wasn't like tech
from that
enough.
angle.
Yeah. And yeah, the good thing about it though is it did get my second channel monetized. It was enough to do that, which I didn't think was ever going to happen. And that's fine. That wasn't the point of it. But hey, I'll take it. But yeah, that was it was just funny to me, like that same thing happening on my main channel, I'd be like, awesome, this is great. And on
You-
the other channel, just dread.
You know, a thought I've had, I don't even think I've told you this, but I have been having the thought of like doing like, you want to get started on YouTube, something, webinar, class, something. Because I've had a lot of people ask me recently.
Like a realistic, down to earth, like
if you were starting over today.
Right. It's so,
you know,
I think about that a lot. That'd be an interesting.
We should do it.
Because I've seen maybe it's the end of the year and people are trying to sell courses.
Maybe
or
that's what, well, I don't know. No, I've met a lot of people that are sending me messages of like,
no,
I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
About doing YouTube.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and I don't have like an easy answer because it's like, oh man, someone's like, so how do I do YouTube? Where do I start? Like,
right.
How do I explain this to you in a DM? I don't know. Make videos.
Yeah.
Make your first 10 videos and then hit me up. Yeah. But I think that'd be fun. I don't know. I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I would say I've seen a lot of YouTube coaches sort of like sharing their like, back in this, 2015, I only had this many subscribers and like, this is my strategy of how I got here. And it's like, it's cool and it works and it's legitimate and valid. And I think it's also 100% irrelevant because it's like what you did 8 years ago.
That's so different.
It doesn't apply. Other than making videos, there's almost no similarity to what you would do today if you were just clicking create channel and starting over. And like, I can't even tell you that I think that's why it's interesting is because I don't think this is almost like what was one of the points of that Super Eye Patch Wolf video we talked about last year, where it's like, by the time someone has reached a point where they've earned like YouTube success, they might not necessarily even be qualified to say how to do it because the way that they did it it's not the way you would do it now because it was in the past. And so I think what I imagine how you would approach a webinar or something like that would be more, so much more like practical and down to earth and focused on the creator side of things and the mindset and the intrinsic rewards and those kinds of things, which I do think transcend the trends and the time periods and stuff. And
well, because like, I feel like the advice would be like, okay, you had that video go viral, double down on videos like that.
Right.
No. Do you want more of those people there? Like, you didn't even want to make that, it's not like you made that one video because, it would be like if my book video went viral, now I'm going to be booktube. No.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think what gave me a weird taste in that situation was that video was me just goofing around having fun.
And so many people were like, meh.
Yeah. And it's like, that's not like you're watching, you're being like, you're going to like the public pool and watching someone just goof off and do cannonballs and sitting there with your like Olympic scorecards. Right. No. And it's like, that person's not.
Yeah.
Even regardless of their skill as a swimmer, diver, whatever, that's not what they're doing right now. And that's not what this is right now. And you're bringing that in here.
And it's weird.
Yeah, and it's weird to make something where you're just like, it's just a fun thing that you're sharing for fun.
My most popular videos on this channel are unlisted. I just cannot.
Yeah, for that same reason, kind of.
Yeah, and see, that's why I feel like, I don't know. I would want to like do something because I feel like especially if we do it together, I feel like whatever we make would be awesome. But I also feel like I would want to make this for someone like me who'd want to start this today.
Right. Yes, I agree. Yeah. I don't know. I've had the thought too of even strategically, it would be a good idea to unlist a lot of videos on my channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're not related to anything. Like they're not.
Oh, like your vlogs.
Yeah, old vlogs, old random stuff, 3D printing. Yeah, I mean, but that's what I mean. Like strategically, if I sat down with any YouTube coach who is objectively looking to help the channel perform as good as possible, there's probably 80 to 100 videos that they would say get rid of. I really don't want to get rid of them. And I don't know that I feel like I can never tell if I'm shooting myself in the foot with that or not, but it's like I kind of like that you can go watch
the progression.
Yeah, I kind of like, I like that. And I don't know what, so I don't know, but those are the kinds of things, I don't know, those are just questions and things to consider.
Are you guys going to use a different posting strategy next year, like quality over consistency, a weekly set number? Is YouTube picking up, in your opinion?
Ooh, these are good end of the year questions here.
Well, I definitely think that YouTube is no longer. Actually, you tell me about this. I don't think that consistency and frequency matter, at least as much as they did before, in terms of like uploading and publishing on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Although, especially in the early days, you know, having 10 videos versus one video is probably better.
But that's has nothing to do really with like YouTube discovery. I mean, like,
right.
Yes, of course. YouTube aside, have a library of content, you know, that people can watch instead of just hoping your one video goes viral. But like in terms of, you know, say your YouTube channel is like 2 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think that a once a month uploading channel is going to be punished versus a weekly.
No, it doesn't.
Channel.
I don't think so either.
I think before it was.
Yeah.
That's why you had people just making content like daily, you know?
Right. I think honestly that question goes back to our episode with the Enneagrams and Kat and the personality tests. And I think the more important question is to figure out what works best for you and your personality type. Like some people cannot work under a schedule. Some people cannot work without a schedule. You know, some people can't do, or it's just impractical to do a video a week, and others can do 3 a week. And I think all of those are fine, but it's important to just like, what is it for you that keeps it like sustainable and fun and motivating versus just like, you know, the YouTube gods say it should be this, so it will be this.
I think that I see. Okay, so like if I think back not just on my YouTube career, but like other people I've talked to and everyone I've met along the way, I think YouTube should be, you know, a source of creative joy, right, at the end of the day, but it can so easily turn into resentment of like YouTube isn't, you know, the YouTube algorithm this, or like my subscribers this, or like I don't know, there's just a expectation that isn't being met, and then now, you know, I don't know, you get burned out, or it's just not fun anymore. And I think like a lot of those things that would make people burn out, I don't think that they apply anymore. You know, I think that like YouTube's caught up.
Yeah.
I think they have been listening. It's taken a while, but I think they do prioritize creators. I don't think they do it as, you know, I think they could do better.
I think they could do better. I think they're taking a lot of steps in the right direction. I think they do better than any other platform.
Yo, 1,000%.
Yeah.
That's
with all
I don't think they get enough credit,
imperfections
honestly.
included. I think they do much better than any other platform.
Yeah, you get the highest payout. You get, I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah.
And that's, here you go. Here's Neil. I think it's important to be yourself and do what you enjoy. Too much emphasis is placed on what other people think, and not everyone likes everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc from my videos would say never get rid of them. And that's ultimately, like, that's the thing is, sure, getting rid of those might make the channel more cohesive and streamlined and therefore easier to recommend and whatever. But I would feel really bad. Like I would feel bad. Like
I just don't, I just like, see, this is why it's like, you can't listen to someone who was like in 2015 this, because it's like, I don't think that would work today. I honestly don't think that unlisting videos that are irrelevant would make your discovery any higher. I don't think that matters.
Right.
Just go make another video.
Yeah, I think
for
that's
today,
a better
for
thing.
For your existing
and
audience.
I like a thing that happens, especially as the channel's grown, is I get a lot of comments from people who, like, it's weird. It's like I'm an AI that doesn't exist, because it's like, you know, like, what headphones is he using? Does anyone know why he does this? It's a lot of third person he's doing this
I
here.
know, but you're over hundreds of thousand,
But
and so people think that you don't.
But I mean, yeah, but then
You
I'll
are
reply
now
back and be like,
inaccessible.
oh, my headphones are these Rode ones here. But I think having those videos, like the fact you can go back and watch an old video that has 200 views or something from 7 years ago, that's just like someone figuring it out, is a good thing, because then you see the same person at a different point in the same space figuring it out.
Yeah, that's like, what is that? Like brand equity, even. Well,
I don't know. It's very humanizing in a world where it's easy to dehumanize.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kat says, I like to remember I run a channel, and the channel doesn't run me. It's true. And Doc is saying, coaches focus purely on money and vanity. If you want to do this for free, don't bother starting. I mean, yeah. The money will come after you front loaded all the value and have a community versus an audience.
Yeah. See, I mean, I think that's it. If you wouldn't do it for free, then just don't do it, because, like, you know, it's a different path. I think if you want to be a creator from the beginning, the way that, because you could totally do that. I mean, you know, if you wanted to do that, I would say go on Instagram or TikTok. I think it would be faster. But I don't know, being a content creator is hard. Like,
it's great though. Also,
no, that kind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's very, very hard. That kind is hard.
I don't know if you can like differentiate what I'm talking about.
Like an Instagram creator, like a content creator versus like a
like
YouTube creator.
You just create content, you know, and it's like, it doesn't even matter like who's creating.
Well, yeah, that's where it's just your job at that point is like the trends, the styles.
Yeah.
Of and you're not attached to any of it. You're
right.
just
you're exactly. It's just like how to make the most eye-catching thing. A lot of the times that thing that gets the mass appeal is not necessarily, it's like the broad versus deep.
It's almost like doing client work in a way where, like, if you're a video production person and a client hires you, you know, the video they want you to make, the project they're working on, is probably not something you would necessarily want to do on your own, but they're hiring you to do it, and you'll use your skills to do it.
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing. The client,
it's
in this
like
case,
job.
being the platform, basically. Right.
Yeah.
And I think people can go into it with that mindset, because, you know, when people do client work, I know clients can be difficult, but like you don't necessarily go into it resenting, like, they don't want to make the video I would make. Like, that's not what you're there for. That's not.
If you can get it to match, I mean, people could do
of course,
this, you know.
But I mean, if you go to, I don't know, you're filming something for someone and they want like weird transitions or weird whatever, they want it to be a way that you would not do it, but that's how they want it. You can go, okay, like, that's it's my job to make your video.
You provide the
now.
skill set.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know.
And, you know, for the record, I do think it's really cool that is a job that you could just create and do cool. Today. Like, that's really cool.
Mike says, hello, everyone. I put more focus on avoiding burnout more than making sure I put videos out every week. It's all about the long game. No point in making videos every week if you just end up burnt out. Yes. Although, of course, Doc is fighting back. Unpopular opinion, burnout is a mindset. Funny how no one ever talked about burnout until like 3 years ago. Now it's everyone's excuse. I mean, I think a lot of it can come from, in my opinion, a lot of it comes from getting off your own track. Like, I feel like if you're, I don't know, when you just start out and you just make stuff for your own reasons, you understand what you're doing, and then as time goes on, maybe you get a little more, and it kind of goes off into a direction. Okay, so I was just watching the reboot of Frasier. And when the original series of Frasier ended, he left his radio show to go do a TV show, and that's how it ended. You never saw a TV show. But now we're picking up, he ended his TV show, and he had it for like 15 years on the air, but you never saw it as an audience member. And there's an episode where he talks about why he left his show, and they show the first episode, and it's literally just like televised version of his radio show. He's sitting with someone, they're talking, she's crying, just giving her therapy on a couch or whatever. And the person's like, that doesn't seem too bad. And then it shows like his last episode or last season or whatever. And it's like Ellen combined with like America's Got Talent combined with like a late night show. Like there's like costumes and props and noises and dances, and like there's nothing to do with like sitting down and giving therapy to someone. And literally then in the show, the plot is he got burnt out and quit because he wasn't doing what he wanted to do anymore. And I think if you stay on the path of doing what you want to do, then it's easier to keep doing it.
I don't know. Burnout is so tricky, especially when it comes to like being a content creator. Because I do feel like, you know, Doc, how you're saying like no one talked about burnout before. I also think that there hadn't been like 5-year content creators before either. You know, like this is a relatively new industry, and it's like eventually this industry was going to get to the point where it became a conversation starter in you know, in its community, in its society. It's like we're now recognizing that, oh, you're going through this, so are we, and like now it's and I think that's a good thing. Like I think it's a good thing that people are you know, because you know, whatever the label is, people can call it burnout. It's hella hard to freaking be a content creator, you know, to be your own boss, to, you know, do this in your 20s, 30s, 40s when you're also like figuring out life priorities that take up a lot of time and money, and you know, this is something that you're passionate about. It's a lot to manage, especially like platforms are changing all the time. It feels like, you know, you're not in control in a lot of it. So I don't think it's like, you know, I wouldn't say that people who have burnout don't have purpose. You know, I feel like they do have purpose, but it's just it's a hard thing to do by yourself, because every job has burnout. You know, like every job has its things. The tricky part with being an independent creator is that you are an independent creator. Tom and I are lucky that we have the couples table, we have each other, where, you know, now there are communities where you can like get advice, vent even, or pick someone's brain about like, how did you do this, or how's it going over there. But especially a couple years ago, it's like, who do you even talk to? You're just melting away, and it's hard because like, yeah, you can get into parasocial relationships, no one really understands like what's going on behind the camera and all of that, you know. So I think it's a complicated thing. I don't think you can really boil it down to like whether this person, you know, is like laser focused about their passion. I think a lot of times people are, but it's like, you know, I remember absolutely loving my last job. It was a hella toxic workplace, you know, like, so it was the same question. Like, I was super passionate and about what I was doing. I loved it there and I was really good at it. But do I want to put up with this, you know, like, you know, and it's I think it's a lot of questions like that. And that's why I think it's good that, you know, I think that this YouTube today is it's like the best time to get started, because this conversation is now part of the territory. You know, people, when I started YouTube, what the hell is that? You know, like, you're just going to film yourself. This is the most bizarre thing. This is weird. Now everyone knows what it is. You know, like, even if you don't know what it is, you're at least familiar with it. Everyone has been on FaceTime. Everyone has recorded themselves, like, of all ages, backgrounds. Like, everyone has a camera in their pocket. It's ubiquitous now. You know, there's at least an understanding, and I think that changes the perception in a good way, versus like, oh, you're a YouTuber, so you only do pranks. Like, that's, you know,
right,
or dance videos or whatever. And like, you know, no, I don't know. I just feel like people are more exposed to it. And I think the burnout is tricky because it's so much on the person, the creator, versus like, you know, you're not working for YouTube. I think people forget that. It's like, you're working for yourself. YouTube is working for you. But it's hard when you have a video go viral not to be like, YouTube is giving me green arrows, YouTube is giving me positive feedback, then this is the thing that I follow, right? I think it takes a lot of, I don't think that's like passion. I think that's like, I would think most people, I'm not judging, I've done this, you know. How do you say no to that? How do you say no to the green dollar signs and the green check marks to stick to what might be the long-term, gain, which is a risk because you don't
Right.
even know if it's going to work. Now I'm just rambling. Anyway,
No, it's good.
I don't know if that makes sense.
It's an interesting point about content creator career life cycle, because that, like you said, wasn't a thing. But now, I mean, you have people, the oldest ones like on the platform being, upwards of 15-year careers.
Yeah.
And, if you look at other, like at what point, like, is it burnout, or is it evolving and developing into a different stage? Is it figuring out new parts of it? Is it figuring out how to leave and retire? People like, oh, they quit, they stopped doing videos. But some people, like, it might be time to end their career, like just the same way you would leave another career because for any number of reasons. And we've never, it hasn't been around long enough for that to even be a thing before.
Like, we're just going through the thing.
And that is interesting to discover, like, how do you evolve, wind down?
There hasn't been precedent before.
Yeah. How do you end a career?
Yeah. Or how do you start a family? Like, people have families now. It's like this thing that used to define my life is no longer the number one obligation. So it's like, how do you find that balance? How do you take a step back but still have it be a thing?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, like going, starting a career, say any type of professional career in your 20s when you're single and you can work 15-hour days and work on weekends and stuff, and that's what you want to do, pour yourself into it. And then you grow, you maybe start a family or whatever, and it's like, okay, well, now how do I turn that back to regular working hours and something manageable? It's interesting.
People be making up formulas and algorithm hacks because they're looking for cheat codes. Just do the work if you love it. It's painful. If it's painful, don't create. Kat says, I have to stop myself from replying to those third-person comments. She can read these comments.
I love that. I think I've done that before. Like, he's using the whatever. But I don't even know if they notice that it's like,
Anita!
Hey!
Hi. It's just so relaxing just sitting and listening to you guys chat again. Thank you. Oh,
Nice.
It's good to see you. How the heck are your Rode headphones still intact? Even Bandrew had his breaks. He stays his baby.
From what I know, the original batch
the pink ones I have.
Yeah, the original batch of those. I don't know if yours are in here. I don't think they are. The little thingy that clips them was prone to breaking. It was like just made out of sort of cheap plastic. I did have that break on mine. But that was also, I didn't blame Rode because I was taking them off with one hand. They were like stretched out and they went snap, and I just put some gaff tape on it. So it's been fine ever since. But from what I also know is after that first batch, they redesigned that part. And I have a couple other pairs and it does seem slightly different. None of those have had any issues. And I guess more importantly though, they have a good warranty and they should just get replaced if you have a problem with them. So that's...
where am I here? Burnout is very real. It's a collection of differing signs and symptoms a person develops after suffering trauma, whether mental, physical, acute, or collective. My purpose was emergency medicine.
That's true.
He said it. Your own track equals purpose. Purpose is the cure-all. I personally never feel the slog of having to make a video. I love this ish. Art, that one is different from what creators talk about. Clinical burnout is real.
So clinical versus creator burnout.
No, Heather, we've been creating content long before the first day of the internet TV. I know that, but I feel like the people who are talking about this, I feel like this conversation,
like an online content creator is a different beast than.
And I feel like it's more of like there was no such thing as a content creator before, and now there are career content creators, and now we're having these conversations as the space grows. So like, I think there's a lot of angles to creator mental health. I think I'm just happy that people are talking about it because I think the mental part is, in my opinion, just as crucial to the creative process, especially as a content creator. Because, I mean, like, you have to have a good camera. You also have to have good mental health to be able to be creative, And I feel like I'm happy that that's a conversation that is, like, happening now. And it seems to be a priority that, like, even YouTube is recognizing.
Because that is a huge difference, too. If you think of, like, when I think of like pre-internet, people who made content, because there was content on, even though we didn't call them
Books
that.
and like podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think of like the Johnny Carson like Tonight Show, every day they had to make a new show. They had to come up with skits. They had to build sets. They had to write things. Like that's a lot of pressure every day to make this broadcast show. But I think a huge difference too is you're salaried for a network with a team of people versus like potentially just a person in your home. Suddenly now millions of eyeballs on you, and like no training, no security training, stability, figuring out how to do that on top of like also just keep your excitement, your passion alive for it while you're also navigating this world that is so confusing.
Hassan says, I think saying burnout isn't real is disingenuous. Talking about it and having discussions around it should be encouraged instead.
Maybe there's a term or maybe it's the term.
I think
that connotation, denotation.
What was her name? Ellie
of the Mills.
Isn't she the one? I think she was the one who talked about it first.
Ever several years ago
on YouTube. Yeah, and I think that's just what she called it. That's what she termed it, and everyone went with it. And I know there's like a clinical thing of it, but rather than talking about like, I don't know what the diagnosis may be, I think just like mental health in general, in terms of like, I think before the perception was, okay, person with millions of YouTube subscribers and millions of dollars, why the hell would you feel,
Yeah, poor you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why are you feeling sad? Like, why are you... I feel like there just was such a misunderstanding. And I feel like because, I don't know, it's just been around longer, people have been more real, have been more authentic. We've had more time to talk about these things. And like just even outside of YouTube, society has been more, it's still taboo. Mental health, talking about it is still taboo.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more...
moving in a better direction.
Yeah. And I think that, I think like, I don't know, it just... I think that... I don't know. It makes me happy, and I think that inevitably that conversation was going to happen. I don't think that there is a cure-all. I think it's an ongoing process that's different for everybody. But I think like the thing that brings us back to step one of starting a YouTube channel, none of that is considered.
Right.
It's like, it's just like, here's the camera that you need, and here's how you make a brand, and here's how you make your channel banner, and here's how you storyboard a tutorial and make something that is succinct and all those things.
Sure.
But I think it's like, I think people are recognizing that you're, I mean, even just in the Enneagram live streaming that we did with Kat 2 weeks ago, if you're not at your best, you're probably not going to make your best content. I know I'm not.
Yeah, I saw a thing, maybe it was a podcast that Justine was on. I think it was Philip DeFranco's podcast like 2 years ago or something, but she was
That is a name I haven't heard in a long time.
She's still crushing it and making crazy
PDF.
Oh yeah. No, but she was talking about like, yeah, there are days, she has people who help her make videos, even though I think a lot of the stuff, at least at the time, she was still doing out of her home or something. She's like, there are days when we're scheduled to film, it's a timely release, it's usually product based or something. People come over and she's like, and I just can't. And like, I just have to say sorry. And they go home. Like, I just can't. And it's like, you have, wherever she's at, upwards of 10 million subscribers, been doing it since 2006, 7.
Yeah, see, and like, I think another thing that, because Doc, I see your comment here about like, it's true, Gen X people are built different. I don't know what this means. I don't know if it's a generation thing or not, but I know for me, like, I have conditions that affect my mood and affect my, that have nothing to do with like my whether I'm passionate about my purpose or not. like I've just been diagnosed with like depression, ADHD, and anxiety, and PMDD, and all these things that are not something that I choose. It's just kind of like how I am. But I still want to be able to create, right? So it's like, how do I find that balance? And I think that, I think before there was such a, but they're still making videos every day. The algorithm wants you to create videos every day. And then you push through all these things that are, for whatever reason, like, I'm just sharing what I have. People have whatever. I don't think that for me, it's not healthy to try to push through that, but how do I find the balance? And I think that's just like an ongoing process.
And that goes back to even what we're talking about with Kat. Like for you, that's not a healthy thing to do. For other people, that could be their escape. That could be the thing that...
Exactly. And it's different for...
And that's why I think it is so important to be so self-reflective and introspective. And even the two of us living in the same house,
we do it
having
so
a lot of the same goals. Yeah,
it's
and
like
doing if we only looked at each other and tried to do what the other was doing, neither of us would be happy. Because it doesn't.
I wouldn't do it. It
work.
just wouldn't even do. It would not work. It would not work.
And it's
just
taken time
wouldn't
to, like you started before me, so you were my role model for a lot of the beginning, and so it's like that's the template of how it should be done. And then then my channel happened to grow, so then you're looking at, well, Tom does things this way, and it's like,
see, I think
at a certain point it almost becomes irrelevant because it doesn't. Because you're you and I me, like
I think that's like what it comes down to is like you can have me and Tom who are both full-time YouTube creators doing it totally differently, have different approaches, but both successful in what we do. And I think that's why it's so different in 2023, 2024 on YouTube, is that before, yes, you can actually boil it down to a YouTube formula. Like there actually straight up is.
Someone should write a book with that title.
Like you can do that, but now I don't want to say it's hard. I don't think it's harder. I don't even think it's about harder or easier to like find success on YouTube. But I think it's just a better environment today than before. I think before YouTube kind of it was like the creators were not the priority. It's like just get as much content on this platform as possible. And I feel like they recognize that this is, it actually makes sense for them to prioritize their creators for the success of their platform.
Yeah, that's what I was saying a while ago. Like when I was saying, like, wouldn't it make sense for YouTube to
and I think they
make this a
that.
more stable thing? It's in their best interest,
exactly,
to help creators not go crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Art and Doc were talking about the definition of burnout. They're getting into like the clinical definition here, because it kind of went back to what we were talking about. Like, are we too focused on this label, and we're talking about this bigger purpose? And Doc was saying, okay, let me fix this. It's like ADHD, OCD. Many people have it. Say they have it fashionably, but they don't have the actual condition. That's what makes it less for those really afflicted. And that maybe that's the kind of thing where, if we're talking about,
I feel like people just don't have the word,
right?
So they say
what
the
are we
word
talking
that everyone
about?
else is saying.
But that's the same thing. Like I get migraines, and people get
this
headaches.
This is a perfect example.
And the number of people
I have
who
a migraine, but you're still driving a car.
Like, no, you don't.
Like,
you're at work typing on your computer. You're talking to me. You're upright.
You don't have a migraine.
You don't. You have a headache, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Or even depression. It's like,
yeah.
You feel depressed, but there's also like clinical depression, which is very, very different.
Yeah. Or, like I have OCD because, oh man, I really got to have my shelves not dusty or whatever.
I mean, and that's fine, but I think just in regards to, creator burnout, I think that a lot of people are just using.
They're just latching onto the word that.
Yeah. And that I don't think that's their fault. I think they're.
I think the thing that I think of when I think of burnout is the confusion that comes with, I love this thing. Why don't I want to do it anymore? And that's, or even feeling overwhelmed with the idea of continuing to do it. Like, I love this and it's great, but like, do I just do it forever? Like what, like, and then that feels overwhelming. And like, it's this weird
I don't know. See, it's so hard.
It's different for everybody, probably.
Exactly. Like I think before, when burnout was really like, I remember going to VidCon and it was like burnout was like the keynote, you know?
BurnCon.
Yeah. A lot of that was, I remember it was just like the algorithm this, and you needed to create for the algorithm. I don't think that is true anymore. You know, I don't think that like us being slaves to the algorithm is like as true as it was before. It can't be, because it's the algorithm has changed so much that it's not, you know, like I said, I don't think that frequency and consistency play as big of a part as they did in years past. I think that's a fact. But and so now it's like, you know, when you have creators who are going to be doing this for their full-time jobs for the foreseeable future, like that's a new thing that just was never a thing. Like that wasn't, it's a fluke. You're a flash in a pan, you go viral and then you're gone, you know? But no, there are channels that like, okay, yeah, they're the channels who have employees. They get their own HR departments, legal, you know, they are a company that is different from the independent creator who is in charge of all that as one person.
But we're all thrown on the same
Yeah, exactly.
thing.
And then just working through all the ups and downs of that, you know? I don't know. It's like there's burnout with every job, and there's gonna be, you know, burnout, whatever it is. There's things with every job. There's definitely things with this job, and I don't think there's any other job that is quite like a content creator. You know, maybe an entertainer, where you do have to factor in like the audience and I don't know, the seasons and
Sure.
you know, all these things. It's different, you know, and it's very volatile and all of that. Meanwhile, you're also trying to, you know, figure out life. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me where I get in here.
Well,
I don't want to like interrupt someone's
There's been a
conversation.
great discussion there, but Doc brought up a point as we're like, kind of, you know, wrapping things up here. We said, he said, yeah, Kat, I paid no attention to the haters, but growing up a black kid in the 70s, I had to learn to ignore the hate. It got better, and now it's getting bad again. I'm better prepared. I think that's there's an episode of New Girl from like years ago where Zooey Deschanel's character, I forget what happens in it, but it's, you know, there's a minor setback and she's like in tears and she's like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And in the same breath, she's like, I've led a very easy life. And like, and I've, that's like a joke, but I mean, it is true. Like, so Doc, your experience growing up, who you are when you did, is going to contextualize and prepare things differently than it would for other people, you know, like it.
But see,
yeah,
like
I don't know how. I mean, it just goes so back to everybody's individual experience, and there's stuff we can learn too. There's stuff like from your experience that then could be a lesson that somebody else who hadn't experienced that could learn to help deal with these things that you had to figure out decades ago.
That's this whole thing is why I would say it's easier to do YouTube today than it was before, because there is such a individual connection that like that's the thing that people are going to gravitate towards, because just like you were this very specific person who experienced this very specific thing, so did somebody else, and now you have that common ground where that person is going to be your fan for as long as you make content. You know, versus before, it's like it was so much more about just like the mass appeal is the only. I had a whole podcast from 1 to 100 about how you don't need a huge fan base to like have a full-time income being a content creator. You know, it's like, I don't know, the platform and just the space has evolved so much. But again, to bring it back to the point of like I really don't think there's a YouTube formula. I think there's things that you need to know. There's things that I would want to tell myself if I were starting over on YouTube, but it's also like I honestly wouldn't be doing any other job. Like I love what I do, you know, and I have a lot of pride in it. And if someone is interested in it, heck yeah, like do it. It's so fun. Mm-hmm. It's a nightmare, but I freaking love it. You know, it's So is being a nurse. My mom's still working.
She
you know?
loves it.
Yeah, like she like brings people back from the brink of death.
And then
And
goes to the
sometimes
buffet
doesn't.
afterwards.
Yeah, and like yeah, like you know, every job has their thing. It's just like, it makes me happy that the space has gotten big to the point where we can have these conversations. You know, it's like
that's a great way to look at it.
yeah, like we can all do it the way that works best for us. There isn't the like, okay, here are the 10 commandments of how to do YouTube, and now we have to try to fit a mold that doesn't work.
Yeah,
that's where the burnout comes from, you know.
There you go.
But the hard part is also figuring out what works for you.
Yeah. So last thing here, Doc said, wow, Heather, you just said something I never thought about. I come from radio and TV and concerts as a rap artist with hundreds of shows. Maybe my soul is numb to some of the things that bother others. And that's, I mean, yeah, starting YouTube after all of that experience, it's going to be like someone leaves a comment or a video doesn't perform well. You're going to be like, yeah, who cares? You know, versus somebody who's never done any of that and they're putting themselves out there for the first time and they're scared to even do it. And suddenly someone's like, you know, oh, this video sucks. Someone should tell him he's stupid or whatever. And it's like I've never dealt with, you know, that before. Yeah. And that's,
yeah,
so much is so individualized. It's crazy. So
yeah,
there's also no answer. We're not there. There's nothing to wrap up.
There is no
even.
answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's also like it's kind of why I want. This is why I like the couples table, because like we're figuring it out. We don't ever. We do not claim to know how to do it. We are just two people who are doing it the way that we're doing it.
As soon as you take off the expert hat,
yeah,
it's very freeing to just be like, I'm a person trying to figure something out, and
there's a new thing that's gonna come out next week. There's a new thing that's gonna come out next year. There's a thing that's gonna change. Blah blah blah.
New problems, new successes.
Yeah.
We
just, it's, I don't know. I just think that this is a worthwhile thing to add to the conversation.
I like
of
that.
Being a content creator.
I like that. We went a little long today, but I think that was
fun though.
I like that. I think I said that 4 times. All right.
Be the only male in the house with someone been used to for 57 years.
Oh man. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for hanging out.
Okay,
for our
and if you missed it, we're gonna celebrate Tom's birthday next Friday on the couples table. I don't know what we're gonna do, but this man here is turning 38.
That's me. Ain't it great?
I already think he's 38.
Yeah, I forget. Because you keep saying, I'm 38 and I do this. And I was like, yeah, me too. But it's been like months and I'm still a young buck.
Young buck.
37. Yeah. All right. So thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the inputs and conversation and dialogue.
Yeah. And if you have any questions or ideas for topics for future episodes of the Couples Table, let us know.
All right. Otherwise, it's time to clear the table.
It's time to clear the table. So, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, hope you have a safe, happy, healthy rest of your week, and we will see you next time.
Oh shoot. Where's the outro screen?
That's where I should give Heather time. Have a happy, safe, healthy rest of your week, and we will see you next time.
Bye.